Alright, I'm going to start off my first round of my hexagon granny square with a slip knot and a chain 4. And that's kind of the basic starter for most beginning rings when you're doing a granny square. You'll chain 4 and then you'll join it with a slip stitch in your first chain. So just insert your hook anywhere in that chain because you're going to end up covering the entire thing as you work your first round, so it's not a big deal of how it looks when you join it. As long as you can still find the center of the ring. And it gets a little difficult when you have smaller hooks, but I wanted a really tight hexagon, so that's why I'm using the E hook. But you can see that little tiny hole right there is where I'm going to be working my stitches, and it will open up as I put more stitches in it. So my pattern tells me to chain 3, and that's going to count as a double crochet, and then it tells me to double crochet into my ring. I know where to stick my hook, but if you have a little trouble seeing where to stick it, just grab your chains and kind of pull them apart as best you can until you see that little center hole. That's where you're going to place your hook and work that double crochet. So I yarn over, pull up a loop, and then finish my double crochet. Then my pattern tells me that I'm going to chain 1 and then double crochet 2 times into the ring again, and I'm going to do that 5 times. The reason I have to do it 5 more times is because this is going to be a hexagon, so I need 6 equal parts. So in the very end, I'm going to do a chain 1 before I join my round, and then I'm going to have 6 equal parts that my work will form into. Now you can either crochet around your tail or leave it out. With this smaller hook, it's a little bit easier for me to just leave it out and then I'll weave it in at the end. So as you work around, you can see that the hole in the center has gotten a little bit bigger. It's not huge. I don't really want a big center hole for this motif. I could do the magic adjustable loop if I wanted it completely closed, but I don't really mind it. Let's see how many I've got. I'm not even really paying attention here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have one more, and you can see that I'm already getting very full up here. I could join this if I wanted to because I'd have enough stitches, but I need this to be a hexagon, so I need to add 2 more in. Then you'll see that the pattern says to chain 1, so that's that last join that I need. And then I'm going to join at the top of my chain 3. So if it's difficult to see it, you can always look for that first double crochet and then go 1 to the right, and that's where your chain's going to be. Or you can count up 1, 2, 3. Sometimes that first chain will be covered by your last double crochet, so whatever's easier for you to find. So I'm going to slip stitch that, and my first round is done. Okay, I'm ready to begin my second round. As you'll see in the pattern has a 3 color change for each round. I'm just going to do this motif in 1 color. If you need help on changing colors in motifs, my other motif of the months all have color changes in them, so you can check those out if you need a little help with how to change colors when you're working motifs. But we're just going to keep this all the yellow because I really like this yellow. So our next round is kind of a round of half double crochet. So we're going to do a chain 2, and that's going to count as our first half double crochet. And you can see that this is our stitch that's coming out from our chain 3. So we don't work into that stitch again. We're going to half double crochet into our next stitch because this counts as our first stitch. I'm going to half double crochet into my next stitch. Then all in my chain 1 space is going to be my corner work. So I have my chain 1, I'm going to half double crochet, then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to half double crochet inside that chain 1 again. And what that does is it forms the corner for my hexagon. And you'll see as we go, this is going to look more like a hexagon instead of just kind of a circle. So I'm going to half double crochet in my next 2 stitches, Now make sure when you're doing this that you kind of pull these corner stitches over, because this is my next stitch, and sometimes it can get a little bit covered by what you just did, and you'll think that this is where you're going to put your next stitch. So you don't want to miss that stitch. You want to pull these over so you can easily get into this stitch. Just look for the loop that's right above that stitch of the previous round. So half double crochet 1, half double crochet 2, and already I'm at my next corner. So I'm going to half double crochet, chain 1, and half double crochet again. So now I've got my next corner made. Then again, 2 half double crochets. So pull that over so you can get into that first stitch. Now I'm going to work in my chain 1 space again, half double, chain 1, half double, and then I pull that over again because it keeps wanting to cover up my stitches. And I'm going to follow this all the way around. So I'll meet you right at the end of this round so we can join up and do our next round. Okay, I've done my last half double crochet, and now I'm going to join my round with a slip stitch in the top of my chain 2. So I've finished my second round, and as you can see, I did the first round is a double crochet, the second round is half double crochet, and now my third and final round for my motif is going to be all single crochet. So I'm going to chain 1, and that's not going to count as a stitch, because usually for single crochets the chain 1 won't count. Then I'm going to single crochet into that same spot that I joined, and in my next 3 stitches. So if you see the pattern forming, we stitch into each stitch that we come to until we get to the corner, just like any kind of basic granny square. Then you work your corner stitches once you get there. So it's single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, all in that corner. Then I have 4 stitches along this side of my hexagon, so I need to do 4 single crochets. But I want to make sure that I'm pulling these stitches over, because that first stitch is over, kind of hidden from these corner stitches. So I'm going to do 4 single crochets again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I am at my corner again. So I'm going to single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. So we're going to do that for every single side of our hexagon, and then we're going to join up again. So I'll go ahead and work these sides, and then we'll meet up at the end. Okay, I'm down at the very last stitch of this round, so I just join my round in the first single crochet that I made. Not the chain 1, just put it right through that first single crochet so you don't have to try to find that chain 1. And then I'm going to fasten off and weave in my ends, but you can see that using a smaller hook you get a much denser, smaller motif. So I used this size, and I made 30 of these for the scarf that the link is below, and I just put them all together, and I have tutorials on how to join these. But you can definitely substitute bigger hooks and also bigger yarn if you wanted to make this into maybe a blanket, because you can join at all of these straight edges and you can form an entire blanket out of this if you wanted to. So this is a pretty versatile motif, and you could even combine these with the triangle granny squares or any of the other projects that I've shown so far on the motifs, just by connecting them in weird and unusual ways. So this is how you're going to make the hexagon granny square, and if you have any questions, just leave them below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.